fantastic read from X-Men, setting it up and dusting that last man on the defensive play.
Back on the pitch here, we have this, let's get this going, Wilkes taking it off the pitch, not able to really converge there. It's Hugsy off of the pitch, not able to save it, is blue team, but it looks like that was a beautiful little bounce there.
Yeah, and Prison Mike with an unfortunate whiff as well. But even though the orange team is ahead right now, blue team does have the better on the kickoff, so that's something that will have to be adapted throughout the series, because otherwise it's going to cause a lot more problems.
I think we might see a lot of on-the-pitch goals off of here if Orange can't get there, if Rad Belligeon cannot get themselves together in order to really make those plays happen.
Yeah, and we're starting to see a bit of a reversal of what happened in the first 2 minutes, I want to say, roughly, for a blue team. Wilkes and Prison Mike had a lot of sustained pressure throughout most of the game, but it's looking like Orange team is starting to get in their groove, and they're going to start shutting down a lot of the blue plays.
Agreed. It looks like Wilkes is really trying to flex his stuff here, and hopefully he can pull that through, but Hugsy and Midlife getting back onto the blue side. Hugsy not able to convert as Wilkes is there, but we're going to see a back pass to Prison Mike cross the center line. Looks like X-Man, good 50-50 for Brad Belligeon here. This is a possible conversion from Hugsy, and yes it is, and that lower right corner. Great passing play from X-Men here, but I think we're going to see a lot more of that.
Yeah, X-Men has just been doing a great job in this series so far, just passing to himself off of any surface on the map, going for another touch, whether it's passing it to a teammate or just setting up a shot for himself, because this is starting to cause a lot of problems, I think. The midfield control is starting to slip for Wilkes and Prison Mike. And for reference as well, the blue team did decide to field their platinum player for this series, so they are playing a slight disadvantage in terms of raw technical skill across all players. But I think that maybe it is a decision that they made for the long run, where they want to keep their best players for the best teams. So we're going to have to see how that works out in the long run. But Prison Mike and Wilkes are going to have to do a lot of the work. As I say that, though, pass from Prison Mike to Wilkes, and Wilkes with a fantastic finish.
It looks like we have NOHF not out of this quite yet, as Wilkes is probably going to make a large comeback.
Yeah, and I think if Roller Girl manages to get at least a few 50-50s going, maybe even potential clear here and there, I think that would be the way that Roller Girl gets contributions known, and Prison Mike and Wilkes will have to be doing most of the heavy lifting. And with only being 1 goal down and 2 minutes left, it gives Wilkes a lot of play time to try to get something going, and as I say that, does almost get that double tap off the backboard. It's going to be a bit of a tough save for Roller Girl. Does get it to the corner, but X-Men with a demo is going to set up Midlife Catharsis, and Wilkes out of the play. Prison Mike, last man, great clear, but the pressure is not over yet. But Roller Girl with a fantastic 50-50, going to give a lot of space and breathing room.
Agreed. I think Roller Girl here will probably just play in a central role as defense for NOHF here. As we said before, they're not mechanically sound, but what we can do is get that defense going and keep them from getting goals, while Wilkes and Prison Mike both handle the offensive front.
Yeah, and the defense as well is starting to pick up in this game one for the side of blue. NOHF doing a much better job of getting the clears downfield. Where they were struggling earlier with 50-50s, they've now just got clean beats on the orange team, and X-Men is starting to lose his stride a little bit. Of course, orange is still Bad Religion. Rad Belligeon is still 1 goal up, but they have 50 seconds to work with, and it feels like with how blue is starting to pick up their stride that they are going to make that breakaway goal if orange doesn't do something about it.
That could be the case here. Rad Belligeon also looking to hit the defense really tough here, as they want to keep that goal going to the last 30 seconds of this game. Hugsy going up for a possible clear. Good bounce off the wall for that. Roller Girl not able to get there, but a miss from X-Men. This could be a breakaway for NOHF. Wilkes going up for it. Hugsy able to hit it on the defense, though. Will this be another goal? that should seal the deal with 12 seconds left in this game.
Yeah, agree on that one. I think with how the game has been going, 2-goal lead at this point should be enough for Rad Religion to seal the game 1 at least. And I think that Blue Team will just have to take this to the drawing board, figure out what they're doing well and what they're not doing so well. So I think in terms of the pressure game, they had their ups and downs, but I think that what I'm starting to pick up on is that maybe the boost management is a little bit off because they do outplay 1 or 2 people. Then just getting that one extra touch towards the end to set up for the last teammate, that's not quite there just yet.
I would agree, and seeing here, I believe that the better play of the two was Rad Religion here to keep their several ranks close together. That way they're able to better communicate and better play the other team where the rank spread is a lot larger.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see if Wilkes just needed a warm-up game, because Wilkes showed a lot of promise throughout most of the first game, and I think that Wilkes does do a better job of getting more consistent outplays while preserving some boost. I think that Orange Team are going to be pretty unhappy about that. But I think that even though Hugsy is the MVP on the leaderboard, I do think that X-Men, in my mind, was MVP for that game just because he did such a fantastic job of creating pressure, using all the surfaces on the map to make sure that he can keep sustained pressure. That one corner play that he got was absolutely juicy, and I'm curious to see if X-Men will keep it up or if the Blue Team will actually find a way to shut him down.
Not to mention that X-Men also had 4 saves on that pitch, so again, the defense keeping NOHF from scoring really will resolve the game in the end.
And yeah, and with NOHF fielding a Platinum player for this game, I think if they can at least take 1 win, they will be pretty happy with that, and they preserve their best players for the more difficult teams. But I think Wilkes is competitive enough that he would like to try to at least take 2 games here, so we're going to have to see if NOHF can do that.
Agreed. Well, we'll see here in this coming up on the pitch. Wilkes already getting it across the center line, but Hugsy dribbling it back. Both teams trying to outplay each other. Prism Mike on the pass, but not able to resolve that goal as X-Men is there. Midlife Catharsis, though, bringing it off the corner with a great angle there for that goal.
Yeah, and I'm not really the kind of person to call out people directly on certain plays, but one thing I really did not like was that Prison Mike, off of the failed offensive play, decided to go for the enemy corner boost and leave Roller Girl completely on her own for defense, and I think that is a big misplay because you can't go around leaving your Platinum player 1v2 in defense because it's just not going to pay off. So I think that is an adaptation that they're going to have to make right now, or otherwise Bad Religion will just end up running away with this game.
I can agree on that point, but it almost looks like X-Men got an own goal there, and they were able to pass it to Roller Girl, getting it in the air. She actually got one. Let's go.
Yeah, Roller Girl, the person that we put a lot of pressure on for this series, starting off as being the MVP for Blue Team. Absolutely great aerial, showing off the ability to get some good placement there.
She was able to read that situation very well, but Hugsy coming off the pitch. Midlife Catharsis with the really nice 50 there, able to hit it up nice and high. Hugsy hitting it really, really fast, and Wilkes not able to get there. Looks like it's a comeback from Rad Religion here, 1-2 with 4:16 left on the game.
Yeah, a little bit of a commentator curse as well, because in Game 1 I praised NOHF's ability to get a lot of kickoff wins, but I think that Prison Mike doesn't have the fastest kickoff on the pitch, because if he's up against X-Men for the kickoff, I do think that X-Men has a faster kickoff, because he uses side flip instead of a front flip. And I think that that's something that they'll have to keep in mind. Roller Girl, going to try to go up for the challenge. Does manage to get past 1, almost able to get it past 2. Wilkes on his own on defense, goes for the difficult ceiling bounce read, puts it in the corner, but Rad Religion, they're putting up the pressure. Hugsy trying to go for the goal on his own. Midlife Catharsis not able to connect on the back post. An unfortunate miss, but they still keep their goal lead.
Agreed. It looks like the NOHF team would like to keep it in their control now. Roller Girl getting a demo on Midlife Catharsis here. That could leave it open for a 2v3, but sadly not to be, as it respawns in time. And Wilkes trying to take this to the side. Roller Girl actually possibly making a play, but no. X-Men taking it up the front. Is he going to dribble fake? No, he is not. Prison Mike leading with the 50 on the side. They really need to get this out and score another goal soon if they are to really get back in this game. Roller Girl, the really nice defense there, trying to make some support play happen, but not quite, as Rad Collision is really just pressuring defense.
Hugsy, though, with a zero boost ceiling shot, not going to connect on that one, but does cause a lot of panic on the side of blue. Prison Mike trying to get a breakaway. X-Men with a failed double touch. That is going to give Prison Mike some space, but X-Men recovering very fast, giving space for Midlife Catharsis to challenge, and what could have been a great setup for the side of NOHF ended up being a bit of a botched play.
Seems as though Roller Girl is really trying hard on this defense. As I said before, I think she'll probably really take it in making sure that Rad Religion can't score anything, and she's really coming out strong here with multiple demos, multiple saves, and I think she really is trying to do her best for this team.
Yeah, honestly, with how the game has been going, Roller Girl definitely looking like the MVP for the side of NOHF, doing most of the work. And it is unfortunate that Prison Mike did fumble on one of the counterattacks, and I think Wilkes ended up missing a crucial shot as well down the line. So, blue team do have to step it up if they want to start getting at least towards even Steven, where they can maybe fish for an overtime. As I say that, though, a botch clear from Prison Mike is going to send it straight to X-Men. Wilkes with a fantastic challenge, but it's going to be up to Roller Girl to try to save this ball. No one quite off the backboard just yet, and Prison Mike setting up for a counterattack with an air dribble. May be able to get a 50-50, but no, Hugsy will shut that down.
Roller Girl missing on the defense there, but not a powerful touch from X-Men, and is able to... Prison Mike is able to save that there, though. Midlife Catharsis setting it up in the corner. Hugsy just barely missing on that goal there. That could have been what sealed the deal with a minute left. Roller Girl doing a really good job here, even though she's pretty much being left on her own for her two teammates, doing a great job of defense here. They really need to get it out of this corner. Prison Mike making a great breakaway here. X-Men able to get a really nice save, though, and this is going to be the counterattack that seals the deal for NOHF? No, as X-Men will end up missing that goal. I think the pressure might be getting them here.
Yeah, Prison Mike had a redemption arc going for him towards the end of that dribble breakaway, but ripped the shot a little bit too early, not getting any lift on it. And I think that was one of the best chances that we've seen for NOHF in this game, outside of course, the beautiful goal from Roller Girl. And it's starting to look a little bit like deja vu for Game 1, because the 2-goal lead might just be enough for Rad Religion to seal the deal. Of course, there is still going to be one more game. We still have 30 seconds left as well. Even with how things are going, Rad Religion are looking like the better team on the day.
I would agree, and it looks like X-Men is really trying to bring the talk here, as he is just absolutely going off in chat.
Yeah, X-Men is probably the most notorious trash talker that we have on the server, so no surprise from him there. And you definitely like to see it, though, a little bit of friendly banter. You know, maybe some people call it toxic, but we call it X-Men over here.
This is true, and it looks like that's going to be, so far, 2-0 for Rad Religion. We'll have to see if NOHF can take this last game just to hopefully put themselves on the board.
Yeah, and I think with just how the whole series has been going, I think that Rad Religion will be taking this 3-0 unless Wilkes and Prison Mike can step up their game a tiny bit and actually start converting these shots into goals, because I feel like the consistency is just a little bit higher for the time being on the side of Rad Religion, whereas NOHF they're looking really great at some points of the game, but then they're looking pretty sloppy on some of the others. So for their sake, I'm hoping that they can put up a great last game, and then they'll be pretty happy in terms of the standings when they do start fielding in their best players for the other games.
Indeed, and hopefully that'll be a lot more exciting for after these games are all set. Roller Girl doing a really nice job in that set. Hopefully we'll see more of that coming into the last game, really able to take the defense on NOHF to the max and just prevent Rad Religion from making a lot of good plays.
Yeah. Game 3 is right at our doorstep. Like I said, NOHF, they would like to take at least one win here for the standings, but X-Men and Hugsy are a force to be reckoned with, and I'm thinking that it is just going to be a 3-0 until proven otherwise.
Could be the case, so let's hope that that is not. And we'll see as the kickoff. Midlife Catharsis getting a really nice kickoff here into a setup. Wilkes taking it around the corner, but Hugsy on the demo. Rad Belligeon really on the attack here. Hopefully we'll see something really good from this attack as they're really putting the pressure on in this third game, possibly to make NOHF lose their morale here. X-Men on the save. Almost a really nice long goal from Prison Mike there.
And it's starting to look like Rad Belligeon are even more consistent on the offense than the other two games, as Blue Team are struggling to get out of their half for the time being, outside of a few fringe clears here and there. But Hugsy and Midlife Catharsis have been doing a great job of keeping up pressure, setting up their teammates for 50-50s. And I think that Wilkes is going to have to try to be the fastest player on the pitch, because I think that he can be the fastest player on the pitch, but he's going to have to prove it, because otherwise the Orange team will just do a great job of keeping up the pressure.
Agreed, and it looks like Midlife Catharsis really trying to set up a couple of plays for Orange team here. Roller Girl able to get a really nice save there, and hopefully, like I said, we'll see more of that. Prison Mike on the dribble past the line, but is stopped by X-Men. Looks like Rad Belligeon is going on the attack here again. Hugsy with the demo. Midlife Catharsis not able to convert, but we're going to see hopefully an attack from Wilkes here. Oh, and we're not, as Hugsy gets it back to the NOHF center line. Nothing from Midlife. Almost a convert from Hugsy, but not able to go. Looks like Rad Belligeon here is really pressuring them, and I don't think they're letting NOHF have any space.
Yeah, we saw a few great saves from Prison Mike. Unfortunately, not able to follow up the ball to get it out of the half. But nonetheless, the ball isn't going in the net for the time being. That is a miss, but Midlife Catharsis with a great read on the post, and that is a little bit of a premature commentator curse, because we were praising them for their defense, but of course, you know, eventually there will be that one straw that will break the camel's back, and that was that one at 2 minutes.
A bit of a back and forth here between both teams. Nice pitch from Prison Mike here. Could be a setup, but leaves it alone. Roller Girl trying to take a thing. It looks like a triple commit possibly from them. I think NOHF is really going to have to step up their offensive game if they're going to at least take one home.
Yeah, and I think that as the goals start coming for Rad Belligeon, the confidence just builds even higher, because they're starting to charge down NOHF on the 50-50s. It's not even to say that they're not respecting them, they're actually just running them down, going for the balls as fast as they can, and in a lot of cases even dusting them to the ball. And we can see that Wilkes and Roller Girl did double commit on that challenge, and that sets up Midlife Catharsis for a free shot.
What a good shot it was. Wilkes on the pitch here again. We'll see if they can get something going here with 2 minutes left on the board. Hopefully NOHF can put up something. Otherwise, this is going to be a really bad morale check for NOHF.
Yeah, with 2 minutes left and 2 goals down, it's definitely doable, but when we've seen them in these situations in the other 2 games, obviously it hasn't been very promising for them. So it might be their chance to try to break that curse for the time being. But Roller Girl is putting up a lot of pressure. Prison Mike on the wrong side of the ball, unfortunately, and that double commit might spell out disaster for Rad Belligeon if someone converts on it from the side of NOHF. That ball will just go back all the way to the blue corner, and it's up to Wilkes to try to get this breakaway.
Indeed, and it looks like Rad Belligeon is trying their best with a big setup from Midlife Catharsis there and Hugsy. All 3 members doing a really great job to convert on that attack. And 3 goals up with nothing seen from NOHF here, and with 1:35. Still doable with a few lucky hits, but we'll hope that they can at least get something on the board.
Yeah, and I think honestly, with how this game has been going, NOHF will have a higher chance of winning the Thunderball than winning this game through luck alone. So, they do have to get something going, and I think Hugsy with that shot into the bottom right did seal the deal for the series, and I think that X-Men and Co. will be very happy with this 3-0 sweep.
It looks like Wilkes just could not hit really too much here, as I believe the communication from Rad Religion might have been really on point here. The spread of rank could really have done it. I don't know if they were trying to have Wilkes carry them through, but it looks like that wasn't the case. 5-0 here with a minute 19 left to go. I don't see really much coming out for NOHF.
No, I think we're just going to be sitting here counting down the seconds until the series is over, because with 5 goals down and how the nature of the series has been going, it's really rough, and we'll make it 6-0 just to add a little bit of insult to injury. And if I'm completely honest, I do think that the major issue with NOHF is how they play around having a plat player on their team, because I think they should be doing more pad rotations, and they should be doing less risky challenges or more fake challenges. Because the amount of times that they leave Roller Girl on her own on defense, it's something that just shouldn't be happening when you know that you have a plat player and you know that you're playing against a bunch of mid to high champs. And so, speaking of insult to injury, we're setting up for the Brazil.
Even though that NOHF doesn't have a 1-7-0, is still a really big insult from Rad Religion here, as they just keep piling on the goals.
Yeah, and for our viewers at home as well, what's worth noting is that while these goals are not just a waste of time for the side of Rad Religion, because when it comes to tiebreakers for our Old Farts League, goal differentials do matter when it comes to making the playoffs, and I think it matters with seeding as well if both teams are in the playoffs. So Rad Religion are doing a great job of setting up their luck for the potential playoff bracket. I mean, I can't say if they're going to make playoffs just yet, but having this much of a goal differential off their first series alone will give them a lot of cushioning when stuff starts to get hard for them.
Agreed, that could make the difference if there does come down to a tiebreaker, so getting those multiple goals could really help them through here. 10 seconds left, 7-0 on the clock. Nothing there. Prison Mike able to get the save, but it looks like with one left on the 0, Hugsy with a setup by X-Men 8-0. That is a really, really defeating morale blow from Rad Religion to NOHF there, and it looks like they're really going to have to rethink their strategy for the next game, if they even have one.
Yeah, they might have. I didn't see the schedule, so they might have played before, or they might have one potential game afterwards. I'm not sure if they play 2 or 3 games on Sunday, so I'm not 100% sure in that regard. But Rad Religion, they go home with a 3-0, and they do have if I remember correctly, it is either an 11 or a 12 goal differential off the series alone. That's one of the interesting dynamics, at least for the Old Farts League, because you do play with 4 people on your team, and you do have to at least let the player play, I believe it is 3 to 4 games in a season. So the strategic drafting on which teams do you decide to field your lower level player in is going to be very important for both teams, because both teams do have a platinum, if I remember correctly. And it looks like in this case that the fielding was not necessarily a bad idea, because Wilkes is, technically speaking, going off of MMR, the best player on the field. But I don't think that Prison Mike and Wilkes did a great job of accommodating a plat player on their team in terms of the challenges that they went for, the boost conservation coming off of challenges, and also the rotations where they went for corner boosts a little bit too often.
I would agree on that point. It looks like Prison Mike and Wilkes just couldn't really get there in terms of the communication and the level of play between Hugsy, X-Men, and Midlife. Both teams do have a plat player, Jeans being plat 3 on Rad Religion, and Darkstar, as we know, being plat 2 on NOHF. So it looks like the champion team really was able to bring it home here and play to their strengths, whereas if NOHF had Trippy on their team, who it looks like is just on the cusp of champion, it might have done some good for them.
Man, we've talked a lot about NOHF and how they play, but I think the highlight of the series was definitely X-Men and Hugsy. Hugsy was, I think, by far the golden striker of the series. If I remember correctly, has at least 7 goals to his name for that entire series, which is absolutely fantastic. X-Men doing a great job of being a hybrid support player and offensive master, where he did a great job of setting up 50-50s, shooting balls off of various surfaces, whether it was corners, sidewalls, backboard, and making Hugsy's life as easy as possible. And then every now and then, X-Men going for the cheeky exit demo or exit bump contesting boost. That's exactly what you want in your support player when it comes to setting up good offensive play in Rocket League.
Indeed. And it looks like we're going to have our next game here shortly, so hopefully we'll see some really good stuff coming up from Flip 182 and Dad Kennedy's.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty exciting one. At least in terms of these lobbies, I know a lot more of the names for the team, so I think that I'll be able to track the games a little bit better instead of having to guess and feel the field a little bit. And I think that in terms of skill level, they're very even, and I think there's also a little bit of rivalry as well between the GCs, so that's going to make for an exciting matchup.
Agreed. Pantless Panda here being GC with lower rank than Wilkes, but a fair distance between them. Denunzio, we've seen good stuff from before, and I haven't really gotten the chance to play with Big Milk or Lit, but hopefully we'll see some good stuff coming out from Falian, Catalysta, Pizza here. I believe those 3 might be fielded for this. They might try putting up Mikey, but hopefully we'll see some good stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a good one. Very even in terms of rating distribution. Pantless Panda, one of the better players on the server. Faolian as well, even though it says he's champ 3 in the spreadsheet, I'm 90% certain that he's close to 1500 or like mid 1400 level in 2v2. So the guy has speed, the guy has challenges, and the guy has shot power.
We'll just have to see what comes out.
Yep. And we'll be back in a short break. Yeah, where's...
Joining now. Alrighty. Yes.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, sorry about the delay for the casting for this first game. Got the information a little bit too late on joining the lobby, but we are back in it and ready to get some plays going. Forced own goal from Big Milk versus Faolian. And yeah, that was
Really
a bit of an
good
unfortunate
stuff.
rotation.
Agreed. But only 1-0 with 2:39 left in this first game. Some good stuff coming out so far from Faolian. and Catalista as well. Both have been playing kind of well. I've seen some really good clear saves from Fallion so far, so hopefully we'll continue to see that as the game goes.
Yeah, and I think that we're going to have to see some pretty good ball control because Catalista and Phalion are both pretty good defensive players, so I think that when Panda does go for some of the offensive plays, or Denuncio, they will have to keep in mind that they will have to go for some good ball control plays, because otherwise they're just going to accidentally pass it to people who either fake challenge or won't challenge at all, and that will just be a botched possession play.
Agreed, but it looks like there's some good setup here coming in from Big and Pantless. Denuncio almost making that goal, really good save there from Fallion, and looks like Flip 182 is just constantly on the attack here, really trying to make the most out of their plays.
Yeah, the 50-50s are quite literally 50-50s. They're going both teams' ways at certain points, but never quite enough for another person to capitalize on it. Phalion, though, with a botch save, that is going to set up for Big Milk. Will Big Milk be able to send it towards the net? Not quite, and Petiza's up to him to try to get the conversion going. Phalion with a great air dribble attempt, but unfortunately it had no boost, so it was actually just a clear at the end of the day.
Indeed, and looks like Dad Kennedy's really needs to make some sort of play here. Catalista not able to convert on that attack, but Phalion trying to make something happen here. Will it be a good shot? It will not. Catalista not really able to get the angle there, though Pizza able to send it back to one side. It looks like Dad Kennedy's really coming in here for the attack, not quite able to get it. That could have been a really nice goal, but Big Milk with a really good 50-50 and Flip 182 back on the attack.
Yeah, we're down to the wire. With 41 seconds left, we saw some great chances in terms of the pressure play for the side of Dad Kennedy's, but it looks like Pantless Panda and Denuncio are starting to step it up on the defense in terms of keeping the midfield control. It's up to Big Milk to try to get the game-winning goal. Not able to do that with a great save coming in from the side of Dad Kennedy's. They do have an opportunity to start making the breakaway. Catalista doing a great job of blocking that shot and sending it back to the defensive half. It's looking pretty rough, though, for the side of Orange. They do have to get something going in the last 10 seconds. Otherwise, it will be a Game 1 win for Blink 182.
And it looks like Pizza is trying to set up for something with Catalista here, but Catalista whiffing on that play. Will they be able to keep the ball up in time? No, they will not, as Phalion actually sends it into the ground, giving Flip 182 the win on this first game.
Yeah, and it was looking pretty solid overall. It was just one stray goal that ended up going in for the side of Flip 182, and I think that Dad Kennedy showed a lot of promise on the defensive aspect of the game, so I think that if they time their challenges and set up the 50-50s where the other player on their team is able to follow up on it, they might just have what it takes to start taking some games off of Flip 182.
I would agree here, and it looks like the defense is coming out strong from Phalion and Pizza, really trying to make sure that they can stop Flip 182 from making all of those shots that they had. A total of 9 shots coming out from each player added up on Flip 182, so it looks like they're going to be doing a really good job in trying to stop those attacks.
Yeah, and I think that, as you said, the amount of shots that Flip 182 was a lot, but the saves were also there, and it only came down to 1 goal, so I think that Dad Kennedys do have what it takes to try to at least get some breakaway goals or potential midfield challenges that will set up some shots. But I think that Phalion has to play a little bit closer to his teammates, because I caught him a few times playing a little bit too far away, and then when he ended up going for the shot, it ended up being a 50-50, so maybe he has to show a bit more trust towards his teammates, because otherwise won't be able to get some conversions on those 50s.
But here we are in Game 2, Catalista and Big Milk on the pitch. Catalista able to get a good 50-50 off there. Hopefully this could be a start of something from Dad Kennedy's, but not really, as it looks like Flip 182 back on the attack already 10 seconds in. It looks like that both teams are going to try to make a good conversion, but Big Milk bounces just a little bit too high on that attack.
Yeah, we're seeing a repeat of Game 1. Dad Kennedy stuck on playing defense for most of the game so far. Pantless Panda is going to try to get that ball past Phalion. Great fake challenge, going to send it into the safe place on the corner. And just like that, one fake challenge led to getting possession for the side of Dad Kennedy's, but unfortunately they're choking a little bit on getting the clears towards the other net. Big Milk has an open net, but not able to get it on target just yet, but D'Annunzio will, and that will be a 1-0 lead, and this time they are speedrunning their last game's record.
Agreed, and it looks like Phaelian wasn't able to get boost there for a good 30 seconds. That really might have been the downfall going into that play, as he was really lacking in terms of speed.
Yeah, and I think I'm personally a big fan of the 50-50 playstyle, where you try to bait your opponents in and go for a lot of challenges in that regard. But you do have to do a great job of conserving boost and setting up those 50-50s where either your teammate gets the ball or you get the ball afterwards. And we did see that 1 or 2 times from Dad Kennedy, but they unfortunately ended up fumbling on the counterattack with the execution. And as I say that though, Patiza with a great 50-50 for Catalysta. Catalysta's probably going to set that center for Phaelian. Phaelian barely too far away. Once again, what was a clean shot ended up being a 50-50. And we're going to have to start seeing a little bit more from Phaelian then in that regard. Otherwise, it will just be a repeat of Game 1.
Great. It looks like there's a lot of good setups here coming out from both Catalysta and Pizza here, but hopefully we'll see some of those setups make conversions. Otherwise, it looks like 1-0 with 3:15 left on the clock. This might be more of a game for Flip 182 if they can't bring that game.
We do have a breakaway opportunity for Dad Kennedy's. Pizza not on the best part of the field for setting up a shot. Phaelian getting it past one defender. It's up to Big Milk to keep it past another 2 offenders. But Pantless Panda doing a good job of sending it towards his teammates. There's going to be, unfortunately, a fizzled offense because it's up to Flip 182 to try to get a breakaway. It's starting to look really tough with some of these 50-50s coming in from Dad Kennedy's.
Indeed, it looks like they're just not getting the timing down. A lot of some not great hits, as I say that Pizza trying to get a really nice solid pass into the goal, but saved by Pantless. Phaelian coming back around the world on this attack. Will he be able to convert? He might, but no, it is D'Annunzio on the save there. Coming back, Pizza on the shot. Catalysta blocking possibly a fake from coming out from Dad Kennedy's, though not really. Big Milk on the attack here. Open goal, able to convert with 2 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, that was a tragic bounce read from Phaelian. I think that he could have gone middle of the net for that one. You know, obviously hindsight is 50-50, but it's so much easier to take a wider turn on that and just take your time, because as long as that ball never creeps past the near post, you don't have to panic on that ball going into your net. And of course, you know, someone could try to challenge it on the near post, but that doesn't really generally amount to much. So these are the kind of mistakes that Dad Kennedy's have to avoid, because these games are really coming down to the wire, and giving any free goal is something that they absolutely want to avoid in terms of their firepower potential.
As we say that, it looks like Dad Kennedy's had a really nice open goal there. Catalysta with a really, really nice save coming out from both her and Phaelian. Again, with the Dad Kennedy's defense looking great. As I say that, though, they're not able to get the really high ceiling shot bounce from Big Milk and able to put it away. Phaelian just below that shot, not really able to get a good angle for the save.
Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate, because in Game 1, Phaelian had a great midfield presence, shutting down a lot of clears and shutting down a lot of plays on the counterattacks, but unfortunately he is fumbling on defense, and that's giving over at least 2 free goals on his end, where if he just stayed a bit calm and collected, it wouldn't have to amount to that. But I think with 3 goals and 1 minute left, it's going to look really rough, and I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt, but with how it's been going, 3-0 might just be enough for the Pantless Panda crew to secure Game 2 of this series. An opportunity, though, with Phaelian getting a flick past one, not able to get it past D'Annunzio, though, and it's up to Pizza to try to get the rebound. And Catalysta will send it center once again.
Seems as though Dad Kennedy's is having a lot of trouble hitting the open net here. A lot of shots going wide, a lot of shots going high. I'm not sure what's going on with them today, as we're seeing a lot of high-ranking players in their lineup. So hopefully we can convert in this last 30 seconds to at least make 1 goal coming out for Dad Kennedy's.
Yeah, and Flip 182 are just looking quite, in terms of consistency, they're just looking a lot better. And I think that if anything, it's really the firepower on Dad Kennedy that's lacking, because their defense has been pretty good outside of a few slip-ups. They've gotten a lot of the challenges in their saves, but they're just not able to get the difficult angles off the corner or off the backboard. And they just end up recentering it, and then they put their last man under a lot of pressure. So I'm hoping to see some more clutch plays coming through.
Agreed, and with that, Flip 182 taking the second game in the series, hopefully we'll get to see a lot more offensive plays from Faolian and Catalysta. Pete not doing so much there, maybe some setups here and there, but it looks like Big Milk really taking away the series here with 5 shots, 2 goals, 2 saves, and an assist.
Yeah, Big Milk, I want to say that at least one of his goals was off a Faolian misplay, so I'm not 100% sure about the second one, but the offensive pressure that Big Milk, Pansless Panda, and D'Annunzio have been putting on is absolutely great, and D'Annunzio, more importantly, has been getting a lot of very awkward saves, and, you know, you could say to a certain degree that it might be the firepower lacking on the side of Dad Kennedy's, but I do think that it is also D'Annunzio doing a great job of going up early for those challenges, making sure that they don't get a lot of room to shoot.
Indeed, and if they can keep that up through the rest of the series, maybe we'll see something coming out from Dad Kennedy's here. Hopefully we can at least take a game, because I would like to see some of their offensive power, as they are higher up on the rank chain in terms of overall strength.
Yeah, I think that if anything, Faolian does have to step it up. I called him out on the second game. Faolian has to position himself a little bit closer to his teammates, because the 50-50s have been looking quite good. And I think that if Faolian trusts his teammates just a little bit more, positions a little bit more aggressively for some of these challenges, that he might reap the rewards of them. Because as it's been right now, it's just been 50-50s into more 50-50s, but never a 50-50 into a free shot.
Indeed, and it looks like Pizza Hut trying his best to get something going here, as Dad Kennedy's is on the attack. Faolian able to convert one finally with 4 minutes 39 seconds. So maybe we're seeing something from Dad Kennedy's, maybe we're seeing Flip 182 have fatigue. Well, I don't know, we'll have to see as this match continues.
Yeah, and this is actually the first goal as well for Dad Kennedy's of the entire series, if I remember correctly, as I don't think they've scored throughout the entire series, but it came off a bit of a D'Annunzio misplay, because D'Annunzio thought that someone was close to the shot, and I praised D'Annunzio going early on a lot of the challenges, but that is the back end of that, where you do end up potentially panicking on opponents that are not there. But Big Milk, though, flexing his muscle. That was a great first touch into a 50-50, and you like to see it if you're a defensive player.
Indeed, it looks like he really forced that into both Catalysta and Pizza coming into that attack, so able to convert off of both of them. Technically an own goal, but really he forced that really well for that angle.
Yeah, and I think that technically Dad Kennedy's did double commit on that save, but I don't think that it would have mattered, because if it gets past the first defender, it's going to get past both of them, because you can't save that kind of a 50-50 on reaction. So it was a great play from Big Milk. And I think that in terms of the offense, Big Milk has really been doing a lot of the heavy lifting, whereas Panda has been a bit more quiet this series. But it's nonetheless, Panda's doing a great job of setting up 50-50s, getting the balls past 1 to 2 opponents, and then it's easy pickings for the side of Flip 182.
This is possibly Pantless Panda saving his strength for the next set in series, because it looks like with these games, Flip 182 is going to take 2 out of the 3. Faolian with the nice shot, D'Annunzio on the save, though. Pretty good defense coming out from Flip 182 there, as they're now trying to make their attack, coming in with 3:15 left on the clock. Though it looks like Faolian is trying his best to get some of those air dribbles going and possibly outmaneuver Flip 182, although scrambling both teams are to really make something happen here. Faolian with the demo there. Across the goal line, And Big Milk not able to save it in time, kind of sends it top right into his own net, although that was a really powerful shot from Phaelian going to the goal.
Yeah, and that goal definitely came off of a few slight blue misplays. It's just like losing pacing here and there, just a little bit slow to that challenge, a little bit too slow grabbing the boost and turning towards net. And Phaelian and co did a great job of capitalizing on their 50-50s, and I think that maybe we are seeing Phaelian play just that little bit closer and edging out the opponents on defense. As I say that, Phaelian with a top left banger, not able to connect on it, and it's up to Denunzio to get the breakaway. It is on target. Is Phaelian able to make it back? Unfortunately, goes for the mid boost on a counterattack with a completely open net, and Phaelian's going to kick himself for that one, getting the mid boost. No one back on the side of Dad Kennedy's.
It looks like they went for what was essentially a triple commit there on the play to make something happen. Now, this is why I don't really like to triple commit. I'm scared of leaving my own net open. So I'll be that player who constantly rotates back, who constantly defends net. And I think that's kind of what Dad Kennedy's needs here, is to remind themselves that they need someone back at all times, or they need a strong defender in order to really make sure that Flip 182 doesn't take a 3-win series for this.
Ooh. I was just about to talk about Dead Kennedy's midfield defense, but as I say that, or as I was about to say that, Catalysta with a great free ball sends it towards the post. Denunzio panicking a little bit on the read, maybe thought that it was post in, and it was easy pickings once again for Phaelian, and he's already gotten a hat trick in a little over 3 minutes. And if I'm honest, this is more or less the Phaelian that I was expecting. He's a pretty good all-round player, good at defense, good at offense, and I think that it's just taken him a few games to come alive, but starting to look promising on his placement and power.
Indeed, it looks like Dad Kennedy is really not wanting to go out with a 3-0 in this series. Minute 37 left, up by 1, but will Flip 182 be able to answer that goal and come out to tie it up?
I was just thinking that Big Milk went for the really risky but big brain play, letting the ball slip off his post just so he gets to the other side and no one can challenge it. Because if he went for the early hit on the ball, it would have potentially set up for the 4-2, and with 4-2 that might just be able to seal the deal. Double commit though on the side of Flip 182, Phaelian with another open net, slots it bottom left. Easy pickings for every single time that Phaelian goes for the shot.
It looks like Phaelian really carrying the team on this one. Catalysta not doing as much this time, playing a lot more conservatively going into this third game.
Yeah, and this is like the Catalysta as well that I'm used to seeing. A little bit quiet on offense, but the offense that she does provide is setting up a lot of really awkward reads for the opponents, whether it's using the backboard, whether it's using the corner. She will just slot it in a place where she says to herself, oh, I think that this is going to be a very awkward ball to go up for, and good luck trying to save it if my teammate goes for the shot.
That was almost a really nice read from Pantless Panda there. No, not quite being able to get the goal. Denunzio on the demo there as Catalysta was about to take that on the attack. So hopefully we'll see something coming out, maybe an answer from Flip 182. Though with 30 seconds left, 2 goals up, I'm not sure if they'll be able to really come back in time, though anything is possible.
Yeah, and I think that Pantless Panda, the goal that you or the almost goal that he got that you highlighted, that was a much needed goal as well, because just as we went over that talking point, 30 seconds have elapsed and we're down to the last 10 seconds. Denunzio has to go absolutely monster mode with 0 boost, because otherwise it will be a 2-1 finish for them. And with 2 seconds left, it's mathematically impossible to get the overtime. And at the end of the day, it was a really close series, and I do want to commend Dad Kennedy's for doing a good job of at least squeaking out that 1 win.
Indeed. It looks like they really wanted to come alive that last game to at least take something from Flip 182. Unlike the last game that we saw where the 3-0 from Rad Collision just left
trusting your teammates just that little bit more on some of the 50-50s, because the fact that Phalian was there for every single power shot just meant that he got a lot of power and he could focus on the placement a little bit more. Didn't have to focus on any pesky defender to try to get in the way on the side of Flip 182. And overall, I think that it was a pretty good game on the side of Dead Kennedys. You know, they did lose that game 1 by, I believe it was just 1 goal. And it was a bit of a stray goal, to say the least. And at the end of the day, they did do a pretty decent job of clawing their way back from that pretty nasty loss in game 2.
Well, with that being said, it looks like next up in the lineup should be Rad Religion versus Flip 182 for the winners of both of those matches. So we'll see what happens in that one. I'm looking forward to that, as it should be quite a good game coming out from both of the teams.
Are you there,
actually? Oh, go ahead.
Or are you muted on stream again? I think he's muted on stream again.
Muted on stream
I
again?
cannot hear Eggman.
No, I can't hear Eggplant either.
Can you guys hear me through Discord?
I hear you through Discord, yeah.
Yeah, so, well, that's actually the end of the stream. And whoever predicted Flip 182, you guys got some channel points. And, I mean, thank you, Mike, and thank you, Eagle Maniacal, for being here today. There were some really good games. It was, I mean, neither series were a full, neither were taken in a sweep. So, I mean, it was some good gameplay. So, do you guys have any words to finish out?
No, I'm just excited to see how the series will progress for the league play, because I think there's a lot of teams that are very even in terms of skill, and I think that the league admins did a great job of balancing out the player skill, because I believe there was no drafting this time, if I remember correctly, and they kind of handpicked the teams a little bit to make sure that they were fair, and a lot of the games have just been really close. Even though we did have NOHF not having the best of series, it was still pretty close overall.
Indeed, it looks like that all the teams are kind of pretty close in rank, so therefore it should make for a lot of really nice communication between the teams, and it should make for a lot of really nice gameplay between teams of equal skill level, as we're used to seeing on our weekly tournaments.
Yeah, and also for all of our viewers there, thank you. And if you want to support us, you can hit us up on our Patreon for RL Old Farts. And we'll see you in the next stream. Thank you all. Have a good night.
Thanks a lot for watching all.